So now welcome back. Now in this video, what we're going to do, we are going to see how our server or our calculator.js can respond to this file that we have sent it. How is it able to respond to the information that it gets? Now, to do this, we need to install certain package manager. So I will stop my server here, Ctrl C, and my server will be stopped. I will clear. Now the package you need to install is body. This one is hard to pronounce. Parser. Now npm install body dash Parser. Now this body Parser, you should install it in the directory where your server is. So that is the thing we need to install. Me, I already have it installed, so I will not repeat to install it. So after installing our body Parser, what we do, we need to now require it into our file. Now to require our body Parser into our file, what we do, you come here, then you create a new variable const, and then the variable I'll create will be body Parser will equal to require, and then the name which I need to put here in the require is the name of that module or the body Parser, and the name of the body Parser is body dash Parser. So after requiring our body Parser, we now need to enable our app to use the body Parser. So now I'm going to explain what the body Parser does along the way. So use, then we are going to call in body Parser, then dot URL encoded, meaning that phase we should remove that data which is in the URL that has been sent, and then we say extended is equal to true. So what this does, it will allow you to phase nested objects. So if you have an object in an object in an object, it will allow you to phase it or phase it, so that now our app will be able to use the body Parser. Now since now our app is able to use the body Parser, what is a body Parser? So remember previously, let me go here, let me remove this. Remember, let me delete. Remember, when this information is passed in the request object, let me use a pen, pick a pen, pick some thickness, braid brush. If this information is passed in the body object or the request object, usually we have a request object here like this, and this request object has a lot of information, but the information we need is just the form data, that data in the form. That is the only information we need, the form data. And this information in the form data, we need to phase it out, or like pass it out, like remove it out, and that's the only information we need. But does not mean that this other information we cannot access it. We can still access it, but this body Parser helps us to remove the information we need to use. So after this, we have already initialized our body Parser. So let's go back here to our browser, and then we come back here, start our server, nodemon. But why am I repeating to type nodemon calculator.js, and our server has started. But you can see that we have an error, and the error is saying body Parser is not defined. So this nodemon will help you to catch errors, and the way it will help you to catch errors is this. It will show you that in calculator.js on line 6 the problem is here on body Parser, and it's saying body Parser is not defined, and this is quite a common error when you're working with express.js. So we can see that I misspelled Parser this side, so here I'll recorrect it, Parser, save, and the moment I save, nodemon will restart my code for me, and you can see that everything is now okay. So that is how you catch errors. Now you run. So when I run, I can see that everything is okay, so I can click 1, 2, then I calculate, and then it says cannot post at /index.html. Now the reason why it cannot post at /index.html is because we have not yet defined our our post request. So we need to now define our post request. So on app dot post, we shall define our post request. Now on our post request, we shall put slash as our route. Then we shall put function. It will take in the same thing. It will take in a request object, and then it will take in a res object, and then everything will be okay, and then there. Now we're going to console.log our request body. So we shall say console.log rec.body. So we can see how our body will look like. So we save, and then we go back to our browser here, and we run our code. When we run our code, we go back to our command prompt and see if our browser has been console.log, but it has not. Our request object has not been console.logged. So we press 1, 2, run, and we check if it has been console.logged. It has not been console.logged. Now remember back here when we were defining our index.html, the action. So the action, you can see that the action we defined was index.html. But in our app.js, the route we provided was slash, the home route. That's the route we provided. But the route here on the form is index/html. That's why nothing is happening. So we need to update our routes. So we come here on action and update our route. So after updating our route, we save, go back to our browser, cancel this, go back here, run our code. So after running our code, we come back, we see there is nothing. We try to post something, 1, maybe 2, calculate. We have posted it. Nothing has happened. Is because we have not yet defined anything to happen, but you can see that our request object has been printed onto the screen. Now remember, you may ask, where does this num1, num2 submit come from with the different variables in it? So where it comes from our form here. In our form, when we define our name as num1 and our name as num2 and the other name as submit, these are the names that Express will pull out and then assign them as variables and put them into objects and send them to your server, which is your calculator.js. So that is what it would be. So then we need to do some calculations on what? We do our calculation and then send back the information on the what? To the computer. Now to do this, it is simple. What we come here on our post, we create our variables. We shall create our variable num1 will equal to request dot body dot num1. That will be our first variable. So I can copy this. I can copy this, paste here, make my num2. Then I can make my variable result, which will equal to num1 plus num2, and then I can respond back to the what? Respond back to this request, and then the respond back I'll call send, and then in the send, what I will send back is the answer is this plus then result. As simple as that. So let's go back to our browser. You say 1, 2, calculate. Right. Let me first see if my server is running. So my server is running properly. And I can put 1 plus 2, calculate, and you can see it has sent me back 12. Now 1 plus 2 is not 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. So try to figure out where the error is. You can pause the video and try to look through the code and see where the error is. But if you don't want, we can continue to see our error. Now our error is here. In our index.html, we define the data type of the information we are sending to our server as text, not number. So since we define our information as text, it comes in the request object as text. So this is a text number. So what JavaScript is doing, it's concatenating 1 and 2 instead of adding them to, it's just putting them together to make 12. So to remove this problem, what you can call is number, to convert this text into number. And then we also call here number to convert this same text into number. We save. After saving, our server will restart automatically. Go back to our browser, go back, 1 plus 2, calculate. You can see that the answer is now 3. So these are the basics. It's the absolute basics of Express. But you can see that Express is quite easy to use. It's quite an easy framework to use. If you ever used Django before, or Flask, you can see that also Express is easier to use. So someone could only learn JavaScript and be able to do full stack web development without needing to learn another language like Python or Java or Ruby on Rails. So this is the basics of Express.js. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this series and if you enjoyed these videos, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next series or in the next video that I will upload. Thank you.